Welcome to the Sports Place. If you love sports and think you're right, then this is a place for you. I'd like to introduce my co-host, one who is the XFL sack record, and then one who has the record for the most high fives from the bench on his JV team.
Oh man, the jokes. But I also want to introduce a very special guest today. We have somebody from the Washington, D.C. area. He was someone who has been in the NFL for 3 seasons and started the last 7 games of the last season. He's racked up 90 tackles, and he has the record for the most minutes spent asleep in my class. That is Carter. Give it up to Jermaine Carter.
Oh, man, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
No, we're happy to have you. You know, Jermaine Sleepy Carter. That's going to be your nickname. You know, we're going to blow it up on social media. Jermaine Sleepy Carter.
That's hilarious.
All right, so we have a great show. We have a lot to talk about. We got, 3 people who are really going to get into it. So we're going to let Erica get back to asking these questions. Let's do it.
All right, guys. So who should start at quarterback for the next season? Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill? Who wants to go first?
I mean,
Jason?
I could take that. You know what I'm saying? To me, it seems like Jameis Winston deserves the shot to start at quarterback. And the reason is because Jameis Winston, to me, is the better passer. He's the more accurate passer. He got that LASIK surgery to fix that blindness or whatever that he was throwing the ball to the wrong team. I think he was colorblind or something like that. He was throwing it to the wrong guys, that last season in Tampa Bay. But I really think that he should be the starting quarterback. And if you looked at the last game that the Saints had and you saw what it appeared that my man, I'm like Erica, I'm blocking out the quarterback's name, Hall of Fame quarterback. Drew Brees. Drew Brees was clearly signaling to Jameis Winston, like, you're up next. You know what I mean? Like, there was a point where he was clearly like, you're the guy, you're up next. This is your team. Take us home. And I think that Jameis Winston is somebody who is still that same talent that we saw at Florida State, that we saw, become the number 1 pick overall. He is that quarterback. So if he just gets himself together, gets his, those interceptions under control, we still have to remember that he threw for 5,000 yards that one season, threw for 33 touchdowns. I understand the 30 interceptions were a problem, but that kind of production is still important. And I think that he is the guy. Now, Taysom Hill still has a role. He can come in and give you that, off tackle, 4 yards in a cloud of dust kind of running from a quarterback that you only get from a few quarterbacks, and that are durable that way. But we also saw Taysom Hill get hurt, doing that. So I don't think that he's the guy that you want to put in there. Those guys who are run first quarterbacks, that just doesn't work in this league. You end up getting hurt eventually. So I think Jameis Winston is the best choice.
I'm going to let Maine go next because I feel like I'm going to come out left field with my answer. So go ahead, Maine.
All right. So I'm going to start by saying, well, as of now, I would say Taysom Hill. And I would say that because Jameis Winston, he's a free agent right now. So who knows whether Jameis Winston is going to go back to the Saints. Like I said, you just never know the situation. Because somebody else can value Jameis Winston even more than the Saints value him. You know what I mean? So they can pick him up in free agency, like you said. And they see how he played back in Tampa Bay, threw 5,000 yards, 30 plus touchdowns. They might see that production like, man, we want to take a chance on this guy. But if he were to go back to New Orleans, I think clearly he would be the guy. But you can't count out Taysom Hill because of what he did this past season when Drew Brees was hurt. He led them to what I believe they were 5-1, I believe, while Drew Brees was hurt, and so he showed that he can he's capable of being a starter in the league.
Well, let me just say real quick, Savon, before you jump in, there was another quarterback who won 5 games when Drew Brees went down. And then the next season, he didn't have as great a season. So I'm going to just leave it there. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Nah, but that, I'm a fan of that guy. I'm a fan of Teddy Bridgewater. Shout out to him, especially with the injury that he had. I think it's interesting that we oftentimes talk so much about Alex Smith's injury and forget about what my man, overcame with that gruesome leg injury where they literally said that it looked like his leg had been shot off, or it was that the guy cut it open and saw nothing there, no cartilage, no nothing. And he overcame that to become a starting quarterback in the NFL again. It's just as big as what we saw from Alex Smith. So, definitely shout out to Teddy Bridgewater.
Now I want to make a comment on it. Let me say, when Teddy was in New Orleans, obviously they had, you gotta account for the weapons that those guys had. It's not just, we had weapons on our offense, but obviously we had injuries also. The Saints had a tight end. They had the 2 running backs, Latavius Murray and Alvin Kamara. He had those guys. He had Jared Cook at tight end, Michael Thomas at receiver. He had a good group of skill position guys that was able to help him out, and he didn't have to carry so much of a load. Whereas when he got here at Carolina, we had our best quote unquote best offensive player, Christian McCaffrey. He was hurt for most of the season, so he didn't have some of the same weapons at his disposal, But like I said, the NFL is everybody. Somebody's bound to get hurt throughout the season. It's just how you respond with those injuries. So I guess I'm kind of making an excuse for him, but that's just the nature of the game.
Isn't that really an excuse? It's really facts though. The game changes every day. The game changes every week. So you just got to pay attention to what's going on and make your opinions based off what's truly happening. But as far as like the quarterback, Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, I can say that who says that either of them are going to be the starting quarterback? You know what I mean? Like Taysom Hill, he hasn't really truly proven to be like a pass-first quarterback who can get the ball downfield. Jameis Winston makes too many mistakes. But at the same time, free agency, like Jermaine said, free agency coming around, anybody comes to that program right now. Drew Brees is leaving, he retired, so like it's open door. So I can't really say
he said he's gonna decide on his future. He didn't even say he's retiring yet.
Everybody think I'm gonna go on base where everybody think he's leaning towards the retirement because of what happened these past few years and everybody beating that man down. But at the same time, back to the quarterback battle, Jameis, he definitely has the potential to be a great quarterback in the league. People look at those interceptions, they put him down, but you can't discredit 5,033 touchdowns. But like I said, balances out. Like it cancels out those 31 and 33. So he basically threw like 2 touchdowns in people's head. That's how people think of things. They put the negatives before anything. So with Jameis, his situation is very different right now because he's proven to be a great quarterback. Taysom Hill, he has so much going on. He's on special teams, quarterback, receiver, sometimes tight end. I feel like with that, those type of players get a little bit put to the wayside because they're not good at just one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's hard being a Swiss Army blade because they don't like in the NFL. A man can attest to this. Either you're gonna be really good at one thing, or it's hard to say. Like, but if you're really good at one thing, they want you to do that one thing. Like you see
for that one thing,
right?
One thing. But if you're a Swiss Army blade, it's hard to see where they want to put you because you're good at multiple things, and it's another guy maybe a little bit better at one thing than you. Like James got the arm, Taysom got the legs. It goes to that. But you can use Taysom more. So do you put value there, or do you value the guy who can get the ball down the field and get the wins? That's why it's always a battle, and there's a lot of politics going things as well. So you just got to think about it in a way of no one knows who the quarterback is going to be. Nothing is guaranteed.
Let me just say this. One of the things that a lot of people say ruined Cordell Stewart's career. And, I'm a little older, so I remember Cordell Stewart. Erica is about my age. So
I know what Cordell Stewart is.
Hey, you talking? Hey, I'm Maine. He got the info on
that's Slash right there.
Yeah, I mean, Cordell, many people say would have been a Hall of Fame player if he had continued to be Slash rather than trying to be a quarterback under center. And I think that's what the kind of advice that maybe Taysom Hill should take is be that Swiss Army knife. don't necessarily aim to be the starting quarterback. Be the quarterback that comes in, runs 4 or 5 plays a game, under center, lines up in the slot 4 or 5 plays a game, returns punts, 3 times a game, does all of those things to help his team win. And that might be the area where he can really carve out a niche in the NFL. He doesn't appear to be, from what we've seen, even in those games that he won, even though he went 5-1, he doesn't seem to be that kind of guy who is going to be a top level passing quarterback. This is a passing league. We're looking for quarterbacks to throw 4,000 or 5,000 yards and 30 plus touchdowns a season. That's what people want from their quarterback. Savon, we were talking about Cam, a couple episodes ago, and Cam, ran for 12 touchdowns, and they're acting like it's the worst season in the league. They don't look for quarterbacks to do things with their legs. If they can do that, like a Lamar Jackson, it's extra. It's just extra. But you got to be able to sling that rock, and it doesn't seem like Taysom Hill is that kind of a quarterback. We know Jameis Winston is a gunslinger. I would compare Jameis Winston to like a Brett Favre. He's somebody who sometimes struggles with accuracy, but he likes to sling the ball up and down the field. And if he has the right
chances, he definitely takes his chances.
Right, he takes chances. And I think, honestly, as a quarterback, you have to be willing to give your guys a chance to make a play. Sometimes a good quarterback has to throw the ball into double coverage because he's like, you're my guy and you're going to catch the ball. Unless you are Tom Brady this past season, where you have like 7 number 1 receivers and you can throw it to anybody. Somebody's open, But most quarterbacks, they have a great receiver and a great tight end, and they sling the ball to that guy. Sometimes he's open, sometimes he's not. And I think that Jameis Winston is that type of quarterback who can get back to that greatness. And he's also, one of the things we see from Jameis Winston that I don't know about Taysom Hill are the intangibles, leadership. Jameis Winston, when you see him in the locker room, you know what I mean? And he's dancing like Savon on TikTok, because he'll probably be doing all them TikTok dances.
Wait.
I will say, it's a difference between good leadership and just being a leader.
Just being vocal.
Just being vocal, because he might have been being the face and being a leader in Tampa, but it wasn't leading to victories. You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. No,
it's a difference between when you actually being a leader and it's providing results. That's why I say you can't really. Yeah, you can't really just discredit Taysom Hill, because, like I said, I the last 3 years I've been playing against him. He's been on special teams, and I personally like those guys. They listen to what he said. They follow what he says, because like it's just something natural to him. Leadership is just natural to him, So I wouldn't doubt that he may be the starter for the team, man. And obviously Sean Payne thinks very highly of him. Every time he talks about him, it's like it's the golden child. So who knows?
All right. So what team do you think would be the best fit for JJ Watt?
I'm gonna go first with that.
Okay.
All right. Let's let our defensive lineman go first. Let's see what's up.
Listen, man. That type of player doesn't matter what team he's on. Doesn't need a fit. He's just gonna go do him. He's one of those, like I said, once in a lifetime athletes. You put him anywhere in the field, and D-line doesn't matter what he'll do. He doesn't even have a playbook for him anyway. That's how players just go ball. So no matter what team he's on, his numbers are not going to change unless it's just him not just being him anymore. No team is going to be a fit. It's just whatever team wants him or where he wants to go. JJ's always going to be JJ. So there is no perfect fit for him. It's about whatever team going to offer him the most, and he won a championship. So he going where the championship resides. What they say, where the money resides? Where the money resides. He going where the championship resides. So there is no fit for him. He's just one of those guys. He's going to ball no matter what. So I can't say a perfect fit, because he can fit anywhere.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with you right there on that one.
Okay.
I gotta say I disagree because, like you said, like he has his own playbook, and a lot of coaches they don't put up with that.
Okay,
you know what I mean. A lot of coaches don't put up with that. He might have had that leeway in Houston with his past coaches, but that's probably why the new coaches, the new regime they got there, they come in and they like, man, we don't know if we can control this guy, we can coach this guy because he does his own thing. You know what I mean? So I think I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a simple fit as people think, because he's gonna have to find a situation where a coach let him, like you said, let him be him and do what he do. Because if you watch him on film, it's a lot of times where he's popping gaps, where he's doing his own thing, and that's just it. He's made a living off of it, so you can't really argue with him. But like I said, I don't think it's gonna be as easy to find a great fit for him because a lot of coaches aren't going to put up with him, being out of gaps and doing his own thing and stuff like that.
I see when you put it like that. That's very true. Okay, I can agree with that argument. I still think he a manimal, period. So
he is, for sure, he is.
I mean, all right. So let the real football analysts get in here, and
dude. So
let me just say, so I agree with both of y'all and I disagree with both of y'all. Now, he's not going to be somebody who coaches love because of the fact that he's somebody who does his own thing and, sometimes plays out of position, but he's JJ Watt. And I think that coaches are going to treat certain players, you guys know, the way they would treat Jason Nichols and the way they treat, Jermaine Carter is going to be different. You know what I mean? Jermaine Carter is going to have a little more leeway in the way he plays than the kind of leeway they're going to give me. And it's funny, I was watching a Football Life with Jimmy Johnson, and there was a guy who was a backup fullback or something like that, or backup linebacker. And the guy fell asleep during a meeting. Kind of like Jermaine used to do in the class. Fell asleep in a meeting, and Jimmy Johnson cut him on the spot. And they asked him, they were like, what if that had been Troy Aikman? He's like, I would walk back there, tap Troy on the shoulder and be like, Troy, wake up. You know what I mean? Because it's Troy Aikman. So
that's how it is, for real though.
Yeah, it is.
With JJ Watt, if you are someone who is a future Hall of Famer, you are going to get a whole lot more leeway than a lot of these other players get. And you can play out of position, particularly if you can produce, even if you're out of position.
It goes back to what Jermaine said earlier. The league is about what have you done for me lately? Mm-hmm. And if you've been balling consistently, they're going to let you do you for the most part. But like you said, it could be that coach that come in and it's like, no, you're going to play this my way or the highway. Then it becomes a battle with him and the organization. So I do see where you're coming from now. Yeah. But like I said, manimal.
But listen, Jermaine also maybe it was you that made the point that he wants a title.
Yeah.
And so I think the place for him to go right now, hear me out, is Cleveland. And the reason I say that is because he wants a team that's on the cusp, that needs, that push and needs that leadership, particularly on defense. I think that he's somebody who can bring that, automatically he walks in the locker room, JJ Watt is going to get respect. You know what I mean? But he's also somebody who can help a team win, a team that's a playoff team that just needs to get over the hump. And we know that Cleveland, there are rumors that OBJ may leave, but Cleveland has a lot of the offensive tools, you know what I mean, to win. They got the running back. Allegedly, they have the quarterback, and they had the receivers. The question is, can the defense anchor it? And if you bring in a guy like JJ Watt and he can start producing and putting guys on their backs, I think that could be a good spot for him to land and to actually maybe come in and get that Super Bowl ring that he's looking for at this stage in his career.
Honestly, if I say where he may go, I think he really may end up in Pittsburgh.
I think his mom would be happy. She could just wear one.
Unite. I'm telling you, brothers is about to unite. From me being in Pittsburgh with TJ and I forgot the other brother's first name, but
Derek.
Derek. So like, it's just how they act. Like I'm telling you, he already at the point where he's going to be a Hall of Fame guy. He don't need any more money. So why not go get a chance to run for the Super Bowl with your brothers? You know what I mean?
Point.
And then I'm sure he wouldn't mind taking a little pay cut just because you're going to get that. It's a high chance they may get that Super Bowl, especially if Big Ben may stay and build on what they did this past year. May stay and build on what they did this past year. But I really feel like he made up in Pittsburgh.
I mean, I think Pittsburgh.
It doesn't matter what his fit is, but I feel like he may go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh is a good choice.
Yeah, no.
But the thing is, they run a 3-4.
Yeah, he's been in a 3-4 under Romeo Crennel.
Oh yeah.
Just
But either way, they're gonna let him do him.
Yeah.
But with the Pittsburgh thing, if he's gonna be up in Pittsburgh, they're gonna either have to let go of Cam Hayward or Stephon Tuitt, or even Bud Dupree. But
Dupree a free agent.
Yeah, must have. But I ain't gonna talk too much in details of all the situations because you know what I'm saying. But they had 4 Pro Bowlers in their D line already. A lot of money has to go out, so it's gonna be a lot of moving around. Do they even want to change their defense that's been working for one guy to come in? Because they may have to give up 2 of their Pro Bowls just for him.
It might not. Well, I don't think that's necessarily the case.
No, they released him, right?
About to say because Roethlisberger make a lot of money too now.
Yeah, I mean, but didn't they release him so he doesn't? They don't have to cut anything for him.
Yeah, they just pick him up and pay him.
They just pick him up.
Negotiate. He might sign for a minimum or something. You never know.
Yeah, minimum.
All right, y'all right. I gotta start thinking more numbers and stuff. My bad, but
no, I'm just agreeing with you. I'm just agreeing. Steelers might be the place.
Yeah, no,
family ties always come together, and I'm sure they probably talking about it right now as we speak. So,
right, no, I could definitely see that.